let me say a few words about the video I'm about to release, the one that I'm releasing today. It's a video where I'm walking with one of my dogs, Game, my Malinois, and we encounter a free roaming dog. As I've mentioned on multiple occasions, my dogs are off leash pretty much anywhere and everywhere. I'm sorry that playing, making things loud with this part of my vacuum cleaner. Let me remove this. Choo guys. So I know my dogs well. They are used to being off leash pretty much wherever we go, with very few exceptions. I trust them. I know in what that is to say, I know in what situations I can trust them and in what situations I need to help them. And any kind of normal everyday activity is a situation I can trust them in. So if we're walking down the street in our neighborhood, my dogs will be off leash and they will stay reasonably close. They won't go off the sidewalk unless given permission to do so. And any free roaming dog we may encounter in this area is gonna be a socially savvy dog, because that's just the way dogs are here. And my dogs are socially savvy too, so I have nothing to worry about. We just, like, I'm chill, they're chill, they greet each other, we move on. The reason I'm saying this here is I don't think I have released this kind of video on this particular channel before, and you may be wondering what's going through my mind, and what's going through my mind is, oh, let me just pull out my camera and show you guys how things usually go. But this is like an everyday situation. We meet dogs that we know and dogs that we don't know who are roaming freely every single day, and this is a very normal interaction for us. And I expect it to go well, just like it did in the video you're about to see. So, and to like talk a little bit more about this, I feel like what you need in order to get that is, one, you need to be able to relax and let go of the control freak inside of yourself who wants to micromanage everything. So you need to allow yourself to get to know your dog and trust your dog. And yes, I know they're being crazy behind me. That's all right. They have a lot of freedom, and that's because they know where their boundaries are. So clear leadership actually allows you to give your dogs lots of freedom. So when you have a dog or get a new dog, you want to get to know them as well as possible, and then you want to install the default behaviors that make sense for yourself and your dogs. In my particular situation, the default behaviors I want are a radius, so when we're in the city I don't want them to go too far away, and a default of staying on the sidewalk and stepping at the curb. So if we approach the street, the sidewalk ends, I want my dogs to automatically stop. And when we're on a sidewalk and there's a cat on the other side of the street in a different sidewalk, I want my dogs, even though there are areas, like different contextual cues, like the immediate surroundings of our apartment building, where they are by default allowed to look for cats and chase them unless told otherwise. When we're in the street in our neighborhood, the default is stay on the sidewalk. That overrides everything else. So if a cat is on your side of the sidewalk, you can go for it unless told otherwise, but if it's on the other side of the street, you cannot stop off that sidewalk. And that's an understood default behavior, and it allows me to have my dogs off leash there, no problem. Yeah, that's just an example. And social skills are the most important to me. Like, of all the skills my dogs could probably have, social skills matter the most around people and dogs. I want them to default to ignoring other dogs and other people, and if approached, be neutral and or friendly depending on the situation and dog or human. So in this situation, the free roaming dog in the video you're about to see has been following us for a while and then caught up with me because he was curious about Game, and Game then showed interest in him too. She had been ignoring him so far, but so they briefly interacted, greeted each other friendlyly, and then Game moved on, and the dog followed us for a little bit with a polite distance. In order to get to that point, I need my dogs to have lots of social experiences, because these experiences will, one, show me what kind of personality my dog has, and two, they will get my dog the practice they need in order to have these other social experiences and be as chill as Game is in this video. This is something that I start as a young puppy. I throw them in, they get all the dog experiences out there all the time. With every experience they have, they learn something new, and they get better at communicating with other dogs, and also same goes for humans. The reason that I don't worry about this is because some people out there would say that if your puppy might get traumatized by another dog who's bigger and older. Well, the thing is, if your dog happens to be prone to being traumatized, we know resiliency has a genetic element to it, right? So if your dog has that genetic propensity, it is probably going to happen sooner or later. Either way, whether you put them under a bell jar or whether you let them have all the possible social interactions you can think of. And if your dog is not genetically prone to be traumatized, then it won't happen, even if they get overcorrected at one point or another in their development. What a neutral dog, like a dog who is neither particularly prone to getting traumatized nor particularly prone to being emotionally stable, will get out of all these interactions is, since most of those are going to be good ones and positive ones, is they'll build up a huge library of social skills and of positive interactions to look back on. And when then sometimes, at some point in their life, something negative happens, because it will. We live in a world with other living, breathing beings, and just like humans sometimes have conflicts, so do dogs. It's perfectly normal, no big deal. But if they already have this big library of positive experiences and neutral experiences, that one negative experience won't make a big difference to them. On the other hand, if we had kept them under the bell jar and not let them, and in saran wrap, right, and not let them have those social experiences at all, they would have that one negative experience, and it would really stand out as, oh, maybe that's the norm. Maybe all other dogs are psychopaths. So I would much rather my dog have lots and lots and lots of neutral and positive social interactions with other dogs and humans than they didn't have any and then one negative one. Because the negative ones are going to happen whether you want to or not. You can't protect your dog from everything, and it is super stressful to micromanage another living and breathing being. So chill out, relax, allow your dog a little bit of freedom, and give them access to social interactions. That would be my takeaway point. And if your dog turns out to be the kind of dog who does have, who really generalizes from one single bad experience, then don't blame yourself. It would have happened anyways. So that's the most likely, because a quote-unquote average puppy will bounce back. The ones who don't bounce back are not your average puppy, and they would have had that experience or that outcome of being suspicious of other dogs, for example, in any case. So you might as well find out sooner rather than later and then get to work on it. Stay dangerous.